I am going to be making a game about cowboys dueling at high noon as fast as possible. Will I get it done? Will it be any good? Who knows? Let's just get right into it and see how it goes. So I've been working on Among the Graves for a while now, check that out if you haven't already, but that is going to take a long time. So I'm taking a quick break to make a small game about dueling in the Wild West. The aim of the game is to load your revolver with different types of bullets to defeat your opponent before they get you. Once you've loaded your gun, the round begins. You fire one round, they fire one round, you fire, they fire, and so on. That will repeat until you're either both out of ammo or one of you is dead. It sounds very simple, but it's all about the order in which the bullets are loaded. So let's get started. So, starting with the visuals, as I want to get this done as quickly as possible, the easiest thing for me to do is just yoink an asset pack. And as I already own the Cinti Studios Western theme, and they're what basically every YouTuber uses, I'll go ahead and build up a little scene to stage the duels in. I started with the demo scene that Cinti provides, and found this little courtyard area to use as a base for the game's dueling scene. It's fairly open, has a nice little stretch of land here to use as the main road, and has some interesting props around it. And so, I got to deleting basically everything else I didn't need. The demo map was massive, so I got rid of most of the surroundings, and then placed down some roads and buildings to give it a bit of life. And this is what I came up with. I've tried to angle the camera to where I want it, but I might frame it differently later on. I've got the player and opponent standing across from each other, and a whole bunch of characters to the side here that are currently T-posing, but will probably fill out the town's population later on. I kept this side area of the map over here, because I think I could use them for different menu backgrounds or something like that. I'm honestly not sure, but better leave them be for now. When the player or opponent die, I want it to be obvious. Like, really obvious. They can't just have a little animation and fall over. No, they need to truly feel like they've died. So let's get creative with ragdoll physics, something I've literally never done before. I looked up some info and found out that Unity has a magic ragdoll wizard that turns any humanoid skeleton into a ragdoll, which was just great. Using this instantly gave me the perfect result. I said the perfect result. And with this, I stuck a new class in there that toggles between the animator doing its thing and the ragdoll flinging the body about to get that satisfying death every single time. I mentioned the animator there, but I realised I don't actually have any animation clips. So back to our old friend Google to yoink some more content. To my surprise, Mixamo didn't actually have anything I wanted, and the free assets on the Unity store weren't it either, but I found a pack for €9 that was perfect, so the generous man I am, I bought it. I then spent a bit of time sifting through this asset pack to find the animations I actually wanted, so now they have an idle animation, they load their revolvers, get themselves set, and then draw their revolvers as the bell tolls. Of course there is no bell, but just use your imagination. The next thing I wanted to cover is what the game actually looks like as a whole, so I started mapping out the UI elements that would complete the look. The first sketch I did was this lovely artwork here, just roughly drawing the design over a screenshot, which is actually a great way to quickly visualize the UI. And with this, I got to work adding a canvas with a whole bunch of panels. I added the player and opponent panels which mirror each other in the top corners, and then it came down to the reloading part of the UI. Initially, I tried this with 2D sprites that I drew up, but I just didn't like how they looked at all. It was a clash of art styles, and because it was all UI rect transforms, it was a bit of a pain in the ass to play around with. So instead, I decided on a technique that I used previously in the Giraffe Shop game from last year, where I used an overlay camera and some 3D models to create a nice looking UI system. So I needed a 3D model of the revolver cylinder and the bullets, which weren't in this Western pack, but luckily I already owned the Battle Royale pack from a random Humble Bundle, and I just imported these into the project. I got to work designing the bandolier and loading system. So here it is in action. This overlay took a bit of time to figure out the whole screen to world conversion thing, but once I had it, it was great. I can click on the bullets and they actually work. But the next part is the most daunting part of it all, the bullet system. How I want it to go is that each bullet can have an effect that triggers on hit, every tick, and when it expires. Some bullets have 1, some 2, some all 3, or maybe a bullet that does absolutely nothing. So I need a good system that allows me to add these effects in a nice way. For example, if I have a damage effect, I want to be able to socket it into any of the 3 slots and have it just work. So how I think this goes is either the bullet effects are scriptable objects that I define and then drop them into the bullets inspector, or they're just their own classes that are only saved inside the bullet. I think the scriptable object option is easier, but the effect class system seems nicer, so I'm going to mess around with this for a while and see what I come up with. Okay, I think I've got something good here. I've been playing around with custom editors for hours to get these references serialized. It's been an absolute hassle, but here's what I have. The bullet type is a scriptable object, and in them holds a slot for the 3 effects, as well as some basic info. The bullet effect is an abstract class that breaks off into all the different types of effects, such as damage, debuffs, and so on. These references are serialized with a custom inspector that goes through and draws all of the fields in the editor. It kept drawing the next values multiple times, it was driving me mad. I was googling all sorts of things to find out the solution, but all you need to know is it works. So I can create a new type of bullet like any normal scriptable object, and you can see on the right hand side here all of the options. And I can just do this as many times as I like until I'm happy with the variety in the game. So now I've got bullets, I need to load them into the cylinder. When I click on one of them here, it's going to pop up with a little text box saying what the bullet is and the effects on it. And then if you click on the cylinder in one of the positions, it'll load the round in. I was playing around with the drag and drop for this, but it just didn't feel right. Simple taps are a lot cleaner and it's less code, so win-win. When no bullets are selected, clicking on a loaded round will instead remove it and place it back in the bandolier. Okay, now that bullets are finally loaded into the cylinder,
It's time to duel!
I added this big button on the right here that when pressed starts the round of duels. A round plays out by each side firing their ammo 1 bullet at a time, and will end by the participants being out of ammo or dead. If one, or both, are dead, the duel ends and will take you to some menu for the next one. But if they're both alive, you go back to loading your gun with your remaining ammo for another shootout. Your ammo storage is finite, so after a few rounds you could be completely out of ammo. If this happens, you just walk off in shame. Opponents will also have a set amount of ammo, so one technique with the correct bullets could be to stall them out long enough to win by default. All of this is stored in your bandolier, which will offer up to 9 bullets per round to choose from. It's easier if you think of this as a deck of cards, and the bandolier is the hand that you've drawn. And with that, the dueling is complete. It's very rough around the edges, but the gameplay is there. So you've won your first duel, now it's time to move on to the rewards. In the shop, you'll be able to spend that hard-earned bounty money on new ammo types, some bandages to patch up those bullet holes, a large bandolier to carry more ammo, stronger plates, and many more theoretical upgrades. But unfortunately, the contractors haven't been in to deck this place out yet, so you're going to have to imagine what that all looks like. And that is Feelin Lucky. This mini project was great to make, it came together so nicely, and has a concept that could be fleshed out to something complete. Let me know if you want to see more of this project. Maybe one day I'll polish it up real nice and release it to the public, but for now, this'll have to do. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.